Smooth 98.1. It is gone past 6:30 for Feel Good Friday. Let's get into it. This is Business Express brought to you by InterSwitch, and we have got a topic for you, and I've got two people for you because it's Tech Friday. Come on, man. You know who it is. Rotus, of course, because he's here every day. Morning, Rotus. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Good morning, Sope. Good morning to Lagos. Good morning to Fisayo, of course.
Mr. Fisayo Durajay, are you prepared? Tech Friday, Business Express. Let's do it. Morning.
Good morning, Sope. Good morning, Rotus. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everyone from across
All
the
right.
world.
Yeah, so we are already streaming live up on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Leave your comments up on the live chat and join the conversation. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0809-440-981. And you can take things over to Twitter. Use the hashtag BusinessExpress981. All right, let's talk about something that I'm a fan of, remote working. I see only pluses, but some people might see issues. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, there was a thread on Twitter from a lady who was complaining about the Zoom call that she was on with some people saying that remote work is leading to bad habits. Some other people replied to the thread. One person said they were with somebody who was in a meeting in a nail shop and they could hear the nails being filed. Another person said, people are just all responding with different takes on remote work. So, I look, what I did to people being more relaxed, I will say this, I used to wear, without a tie, a shirt and blazer for these Zoom calls, right? For Business Express, because it was Business Express. But now, I don't know, I feel like I've gotten, over the years now, since COVID, over the last 2 years.
Rotus,
Can you
slight
hear me?
audio issues, so come on closer, let's hear from you.
Can you hear
All
me
right.
now?
Better,
Is it
I
better?
think.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, let's try. Go ahead.
So basically, does remote work lead to bad habits? So people get more casual and more laid back, even for business meetings and so on. That's basically the premise of of that thread, and so people were weighing it.
All right, Fazai, what do you think?
Okay, so as with everything in the world, right, there are pros and cons to it, right? The advantages of remote work. I know, I mean, surprised you're looking at me like, oh, this
I'm
is
just
strange.
looking.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I would like to see where you're going with this because I'm not going to fall for it like a millionth time. Let's see where you go with this.
Okay, right. So there are pros and cons to everything across the world, right? Everything can be both good and bad at the same time. But the question here is that is remote work leading to more bad habits? And I think that the absolute answer there is yes, right? Of course, for the employee, remote work is probably a bit more convenient because you don't have to, wait through traffic to go to work. You can live, with your parents. You can live, with your family. You can do a lot more for yourself. You can maybe determine your work hours, work a bit more productively. There are arguments for, right? However, there are also challenges around how that works. I was on leave yesterday and I was at an event, and of course I see people that are not on leave at the same event. So I was out of Lagos. I was at a wedding, and I see people that are meant to be working at the same wedding. So they took their laptop alongside, like, oh, okay, I have a meeting now. Let me just get into the car and quickly take it. They are not prepared for anything, right? And of course, it's something that is birthed out of remote work, right? And I think that that's why I said that with everything there is the flexibility it gives also gives room for that complacency that you're wondering, is this person really listening to me, or this person is driving, or this person is running after his kids? There are different distraction methods that show up as part of the remote work culture. And of course, that then now people that take that too far and deliberately just become, laid back, and because they can just wake up, 2 minutes to a meeting and then just show up and vibe it, But if you're at work, you've been there, you're prepared, you're ready, you've read the brief, you've done all the things you need to do, prepare for the meeting. Not that just wake up from your bed and like, well, it's remote work, just show up from your bed and turn up your laptop because you can. some of those bad habits start showing up really often. And of course, it's questioning that argument around productivity, around, is this thing really productive? And I think that those are the questions that we all need to find answers to.
I would like to say something, Fisaya. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're working from home, I completely agree. Home is comfortable. You have your sofa, it's shaped in your body position from you always being on it. It's great. You feel at home, you feel comfortable. However, I'm sorry, isn't the whole thing of Upwork and other gig sites, the fact that you can do this work and you can be a virtual assistant, you can do remote work, but also aren't there apps? I mean, because that people are going to be people. There are apps that log your keystrokes. There are apps that log the time that you spend on your and monitor your activity on the work laptop. There are these apps that can make you stay, or at least give some sort of sense of accountability. Aren't there? Are you saying that those don't work? Because I know somebody who is tied to their laptop because literally they're like, it's logging everything I do. I have to keep doing things.
Okay, so you see, that is not even productive because you're forced to do some form of eye service because, I mean, you have to appear to be working. It's like, are you working hard or hardly working? And that's what is happening to many people. So again, like I said, there are some tools. So for instance, there are some developer tools for software developers mainly, right? That you can track the lines of code you've written. You can track many things for those ones. But it doesn't even mean like you have to be online or something. But you can, once you meet your deliverables, it's fine, right? However, I think the context for that tweet particularly is around meetings and preparation for meetings, right? A lot of times, and I've seen that in many calls as well, right? The person is having breakfast with his family at 11 a.m. And, okay, this meeting is actually happening at 11 a.m. Okay, let's just quickly do it, right? And I'm wondering, are you serious at all? Is this, I'm having a meeting with you and you're at the restaurant, I'm like, okay, this doesn't work, right? If at the office, we have a physical meeting, we have 100% of our both concentration and we'll be probably more productive out of that meeting. So I guess those are the real questions,
so
right?
See, for me, right, Fisaya, for me, I believe in smart working. And I do believe actually that the 9 to 5 is not a conducive environment for that, because the iService that you've talked about on this with these developer tools, right? It's the same iService that you get while you're sitting at the office and your boss or your line manager walks by and you're now like, oh, let me do something. It's the same iService. And also that 9 to 5 environment, how much time do you spend at the water cooler? How much time do you spend going to the bathroom? How much time do you spend? A lot of time doing a lot of things that you don't need to do. And also, isn't this just separating the wheat from the chaff? I would love remote working if you showed up people who were not serious about work and decided that they were going to come for the meeting at 11:05 unprepared. Aren't there consequences for that kind of unprofessional behavior? So
I mean, no one notices because it's between me and the person, right? It's. I mean, your line manager is not there to know that you're not prepared. It just is you and the client that show that is client that knows that you're not prepared for the meeting. Again, like I said, there are pros and cons to it. There are advantages and disadvantages. But does this thing breed bad behavior? Yes, it does. And that's the answer to the question. Yes, it does breed bad behavior. And of course, that we cannot deny. Of course, the comfort around it is also a pro to it, but the cons around it is like, yes, this thing leads to bad behavior from people, from employees. People can literally take everything for granted, right? Because they're working remotely, right? People can just do anything they want to do. I guess that's my big issue. And of course, when Elon Musk then wakes up to say that okay, you're fired, then they don't complain that yes, he has fired half of the Twitter staff, and so some of Twitter is still working very fine. So it means that what are these people really doing? They're just wasting time and wasting investors' money, wasting everybody's time, and doing absolutely nothing, right? And these are the problems.
People have things to say. Let's take it over to the messages up on WhatsApp. Got this one in from Digi, who says remote working is very cool and cost effective. Unfortunately, there's no etiquette training. I feel companies should set their standards and expectations after in-house training. That's a great idea. That's good. This one, Goke. from the UK says, so being well prepared for a meeting makes me productive. Please, productivity is about meeting deliverables, but remote working actually makes you work more hours. And Precious from Ogba says, Fisher should put a rest to this remote work thing because machines are soon going to be taking over the jobs and people will need to be more flexible with unemployment. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is getting outdated. I feel like it's so outdated. It's been 100 years and 100 years, 100 years plus.
4-day work week.
The 9 to 5 work week.
No. Yeah, I get. I'm just adding to it. Like, I mean, they are testing 4-day work week already.
And I believe in that. You know what? And they're showing that for.
Shokwe, you like 2-day work week? Of course.
I love 2-day work weeks. But they're also showing that actually the people who are on the 4-day work weeks, where they're doing 80% of the days, but 100% of the pay, are actually giving more than 100% of the productivity. It's out there. Okay, more messages are coming in. Ayola Akinfala says, we can talk about the pros and cons of remote working. There's already very copious empirical evidence that shows that remote working leads to less productivity overall. Even on the show this morning, he goes on to say we couldn't hear Rotus well. So we had to spend some seconds
so
waiting.
Unprepared. Rotus was so unprepared for this meeting. Can you imagine?
We had to spend some seconds waiting for him to be more audible. That's just a small example. Michael Adetutu says, yes, I agree with Visaya, but standards can be set. Besides, for me, I tend to work more remotely without closing time. I tend to work more remotely without a closing time than working in the office. Ooh, okay, we're coming to the end of the show, so let me just quickly read these last couple of messages. This one in from Ogba says, we cannot throw away the baby with the bathwater. Yes, sir, preach it, preach it, preach it. Also says, let us weed out those who are abusing it. Productivity is about meeting deliverables on time. Work-life balance is important. Yes, Fisayo, my people are speaking. And Anthony from Lagos, says, I promoted remote working in my office, but regretted it. My subordinates abused it, so that during the working hours, they would go to the market or visit their loved ones. We had to cancel it. And the bottom line, says Jonah, if you're productive or not, depending on the job, remote working could be much better. And gentlemen, that's the end of the show.
That's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I believe we're going to be diametrically opposed on all matters.
For all my supporters, thank you for coming out,
You had one supporter.
Radical
Anthony,
idea.
Anthony, thank you. Don't worry, all my supporters, that 4-day work week where we'll be working completely remotely, you can even go to a 3-day work week and we'll get 100% pay, is coming. The future is here and I see it. Thank you very much. Find Fisayo and ask him about his opinions up on Twitter. He's at RMO Fisayo. And of course, Rotus is at Rotencode. I'm just remembering, I can't remember who sent that message in, but Rotus, yes, you showed up for Fisayo's side through the audio. All right, but really interesting.
Now, Rotus cannot talk again, sadly, remote work.
That's it. Okay, we've got to end the show. Thank you, gentlemen.